You gearing up for the next video?
Yeah, what's it about?
Get it in gear, let's go.
Well, it'd be a lot easier if I knew what we were doing.
Man, you really grind my gears.
What does that even mean? Oh, we're over here today.
Yep, today we're working in the back, okay?
Sweet. It's like a field trip.
It's a nice day outside. We can be at the end of the shop. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sweet.
We're at the end of an LS swap, and at the end of an LS swap, we end up changing the gears sometimes in the rear differential, okay? This truck's had 273s in it, which is pretty high. 6-liter motor with a 4L60E transmission. Even the way it is right now, it has plenty of power and goes down the books down the road really nicely. But we're gonna put some 308s in it just to help it out a little bit in case this guy ever pulls something with it or whatever. But
yeah,
and it'll make it go a lot faster.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the important part.
So, nothing crazy. We could have put 342s in it, 373s, but this guy wants it to be a nice driving down the road truck. So 308s will make it perfect. Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna get to do. We'll pull this thing apart. We will kind of go through the whole thing of doing pinion bearing preload, its depth, and all the other things that you have to do to put new gears in. And we are also putting a Yukon limited slip carrier in it, okay?
Yeah.
So that's the other most important part that we're putting in it.
Yes.
Because this guy doesn't want one bald tire.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to it. All right,
let's do it.
All right, so here we go. Emily made the mistake of telling me that for some reason she likes taking the rear diff covers off and putting them back on. So I'm going to have her do that on that one. And I'm going to take the wheels off and possibly take the drive shaft off if I have time while she's doing that, okay? So here I go.
Let's do it.
That's from my basketball career.
Oh yeah.
Tire dribbling.
Oh yes. World champion.
I used to be able to spin them on the end of my finger.
Ooh. Super cool.
Ah, it smells so good.
Fluid looks pretty good though.
Yep. My exhaust hangers also work perfect for holding up the drive shaft. Oh, so what's it look like in here? It looks like a differential. Alright, so now why did I take the wheels off? Because we have to pull the axles out of it, okay? And in order to pull the axles out of it, that pin there has to be removed and it's held in by that screw, okay? And it's a 5/16. If we're lucky, it's not broken. They would break sometimes.
Oh, nice.
So the pin would just be in there. You'd take and pull that off there and you couldn't get the rest of the pin out because it would break at the end of the threads on it.
Oh no.
So sometimes we had to like force them out, cut them, but this one, I know this one's going to be okay.
Okay.
5/16. I highly recommend using a 6
point?
Yeah, 6 point. You'd think I'd know that by now. Because these can be kind of tight and then if you round that thing off, you're in big trouble.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the whole pin, but they would break like right there, and there would be a couple of threads still hanging on.
Oh no.
So they're so far in there, you couldn't get them really to turn them with a pick or something, and you'd have to force that pin out. And, it was usually a matter of cutting it, is what it was. But so it'll slide out now. All right.
Okay.
And like if you were reusing this, you'd want to check it out good, but it's not going to get reused. All right. So see the axle sticking out, the ends right there?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to push in on it. See it when I push in on the axle?
Oh, I see.
Okay. Did the snap ring pop out?
Yep. It fell out of there.
Okay. All right. Come on. Come on. There it is. Okay, so that's what holds the axle in. Okay. So that one's loose. And here it goes. All right.
Okay.
So for now, we'll just leave it there. Push the left one in.
Okay.
And get its little snap ring off. I guess it's not a snap ring. It's just a
Like a
C-shaped ring, you know.
clip.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah, clip. All right. Pull that axle out. Bearing surface looks good. Very nice. All right, so at this point, we don't need to do anything else to this thing, but we're going to measure backlash. Okay?
Okay.
Backlash is the amount of movement between the pinion and the ring gear. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So because we're replacing the ring gear and pinion, there's really no reason to do it. But if I was taking it apart and then assembling it again and not replacing something,
Yeah.
I just check it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just so I have a reference, even though I'm going to go look at a spec and it's going to say it wants this much backlash. I just want to know what it is now.
Yeah. Point of reference.
Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
So.
Hey, watch out for that snake.
This isn't a snake. Oh, this tool is actually for measuring disc brake run out. That's what it says on the case. Disc brake tool to measure a rotor run out.
Yeah, how flat it is, kind of.
I've never done it. There's no need whatsoever, really, to do that, unless you really have a brake system that's bad. See, you hear that noise?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're measuring, is that noise.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to put it on the tip of that tooth at kind of a 90-degree, hopefully like right towards it, right there. Oh, and you got to hold the pinion, and it's that measurement there that we have to. So what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 4 thousandths. Or if I really do it, I get about 5 thousandths. But let's say 4.
Okay.
Okay, 4 thousandths. And I know what the spec is for the new one, and that's pretty good.
Okay.
That's where you get the clunk when you go from reverse to drive sometimes in vehicles. Differentials that have a lot of backlash on them. Alright, so now we got to take the caps off for our carrier. Alright?
Okay.
But we're going to mark them because you want to make sure you put this cap on the right hand side and this one on the left hand side. So we need to mark them.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark this one right, okay? Because this is the right side.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't make sense to put that on the left side.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also put it at the bottom because I want to know that this cap is in the exact same spot when I put it back down. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to put it upside down.
Yep. And L, and I'm going to mark left, also, we wouldn't really need to because we know it's the left one because we marked the right one. But I want to mark showing the down of the cap. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to take our carrier caps off. Okay. One didn't seem very tight. That's the left one.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so technically now it'll fall out at me, okay?
Okay.
I can pull it out. And on some of these, there's shims. Some of them have a screw that tightens in to adjust its bearing preload.
Okay.
And its backlash, but this one is shimmed. So if there's shims, you want to make sure you keep them with that side, all right?
Okay.
So nothing came off with it, right?
Right.
So, but I'm gonna keep that together.
Okay.
This is on the left-hand side, piece for the right-hand side. Okay? We're gonna make sure we keep them left and right. Okay?
All right.
All right. So if we weren't changing the gears, then at this point we'd be reusing the pinion gear that's in here. But we're gonna replace it.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna have to take the nut off the end of it.
Okay.
Okay. That's your yoke.
Yolk. Not egg yolk.
No, it's not an egg yolk.
Very different.
All right. So that's gonna come out tight. Okay.
Okay.
Be kind of tight on that bearing. Make sure you smack on it with a brass hammer, something softer than what you're trying to take off.
Yeah.
This is a crush sleeve. It's what basically maintains the bearing preload because you've got your other bearing out here going against that one. We'll get to that point when we do that, but that's the crush sleeve, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we got to get the bearing out and the seal out. It's there. We can just pound it out from this side
Okay.
because we're not going to reuse that bearing. We're replacing all the bearings in it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Got it.
Got it. All right, so while we're at it, we're going to replace the races also, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and just tap the race out. They give you a couple little slots in there to get a good chisel on it.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, so we just about have everything disassembled that we have to, okay? On the original Pinion one, we need to know if there's a shim in here because that's how you would adjust your pinion depth, okay?
Okay.
So we got to go pull this gear off, or that bearing off there, and see what it has underneath it for a shim, okay?
Okay.
And it may not have any, but we got to know.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's go this way then. Now we're at the front of the vehicle.
Welcome to the front of the vehicle.
So this is where it begins to need some special tools. Were you touching that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. I think you just wanted to show off your little toolbox over there.
Oh, yes. New toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that thing will not fit through that press. See if the gear is going to hit right there.
Oh, I see.
All right, so we got to drop it down one.
Ah, that seems scary.
I'm going to have to get a bigger press.
Good. Maybe the sticker won't be upside down if we get another one.
That's going to do it either. Nope. Okay, so.
Okay, plan B.
Plan C is get a bigger press.
Yes.
So I don't have to use this thing. I feel like my arms are flappy sometimes.
Are you a bird?
Yeah, if I was a bird, what bird would I be? It'd be annoying. Have to be.
Think so? Like whatever that is?
Yeah, it would be nuts. Okay, so now I know that nut's not going to fit under that.
Okay, back to plan A, section B17.
Yeah, I had to get a little creative with my bearing puller because I didn't have enough room between the arms on my press to do that. So I came up with that. Sat them on top of a couple of snap-on sockets. Hopefully they can handle the pressure that they're about to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Go. It worked.
Yay.
Amazing. All right, so there's the bearing. All right.
Okay.
And there is a shim.
That's what we were after.
Yep. Okay, so that's the shim.
Okay.
I'll measure it with a mic and see what it is. Okay. All right, so this one says 37 on it, so we'll see what that means. Okay.
I don't think it's inches.
25 plus 12 is what?
37.
37. Okay.
Sweet.
So we got point 037. 037 pinion. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the same thing, okay? But at least we know what we're starting with a shim, all right?
Sweet.
So let's get our new gears out. Press the new bearing on. Oh, sweet. Look at that.
Stickers.
Just like we always said, don't ever buy anything from a company that doesn't have a sticker,
Exactly.
okay?
That's how you know they're legit.
Go to our merch store and buy our stickers.
Exactly.
Okay.
What I was saying.
So I'm going to keep this as my note box, okay?
Okay.
All right. Richmond gears. 308. 308 to 1. All right. Okay. All right. Now, which one's which, do you think? So it's that one. It's that big one.
The big one?
All right.
Okay.
So let's go press this one on.
Alrighty.
Yep. Take a little look at them together. Make sure they kind of look the same, right? What's the difference in how big that is compared to that one?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off with the same shim that they had.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So this time the press will actually work.
Ooh.
Alright. Okay. So bearing installed. If we're lucky, we'll never have to take it off again.
How do you know when to stop?
You can feel it. The press just stops. Okay. There you go.
Alright. Yeah.
I'm gonna get all the styrofoam off of
Okay. Hey. We needed that.
Use what you got. Give me that. You give me it.
Alright, so we got the bearing on our pinion. So now we got to get some races in the housing, and we'll install this. We'll do pinion bearing preload on it, okay?
Ooh.
And then we'll start working on measuring our bearing depth,
Okay.
or our pinion depth, okay?
Okay.
So let's get some races in here. Always tap them in with something soft, like a brass punch, you know?
Yeah.
If you have to tap them in, which I always do. See if I can get it started. Start, maybe. You know why I use the brass?
So it doesn't mar up the race?
No, it's pretty good.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, something soft, it won't hurt the bearing. I'm gonna have to use my extension.
This might be my favorite shot.
Is it pretty good?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like your fancy tool there.
Thank you. Gotta do what you gotta do. This is not a snap-on extension I'm hammering on either. My snap-on's gonna quit warranting my tools. Alright, let's do the outer one. Alright. You can hear that end, right?
Yep.
Okay, don't want any chunks of brass left in there. Alright, so now we're going to install the pinion. But this is not the final install of it. We are going to install it just to measure it, okay?
Okay.
So we're not going to use the crush sleeve, because the new crush sleeve is a one-time use only.
Okay.
It only works once, and we don't need it to do bearing preload. Oil up your bearing. Don't grease them, like with wheel bearing grease. Use the oil, whatever oil you're going to use in the differential. Okay. And then, like I said, we're not going to put the crush sleeve in there at all. We're not even going to put the old one in there, because the old one was for the old pinion. Totally different.
Okay.
So we just don't care about that right now. We're just gonna get it in there and do bearing preload and measure the pinion depth.
Okay.
Let's get the pinion put in for the second to last time, okay? Hopefully second to last. So, no crush sleeve, we're just gonna put the bearing on. Alright. Come on. Stuck on there at all? No? Oh, I'm going to do it with the nut. Using the old nut. to speed it up a little
Okay.
with an impact wrench.
Okay.
Put a little bit of oil on the nut, on the washer. So there's still quite a bit of movement between the two bearings there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to run it down to where there's still a little bit of movement, and then I'll do it with a wrench. Okay? So. Okay. So there's barely any movement there, okay? You can hear it just the tiniest little bit.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Juice.
Juice.
What are you doing? You want this?
Ah, you did it.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I just tightened it a little bit. You saw how much I moved it?
Yeah.
And it has, you can feel that it has tension on it, okay?
Okay.
So it's getting preload. The specifications call for 14 to 19 inch-pounds. So I'm going to turn it just a little bit. And I'm going to tap on both sides of the pinion
Okay.
to seat the bearings. Okay? All right, so it takes a little bit to move that, all right?
Okay.
All right, so how much is the question? And you do it with an inch-pounds torque wrench. Okay?
Okay.
So as I turn it, what's that reading?
Like 12, 13?
13, you think?
Probably.
Okay, we'll do it again. What do you think?
Oh, like 11 or 12.
All right, so the minimum's 14, maximum's 19 with the new bearings.
Okay.
Okay? I'm gonna move just the tiniest little bit to get to that point, okay? Doesn't take much. That's why the crush washers, the minute you over tighten the crush washer, it's no good anymore, and you'll have to run to the store and buy new ones. What's that read?
About the same.
So?
Yeah.
Oh. So. So you can tell I didn't move it very much, right?
Yeah.
So what's that taking?
Oh, that's like 20. It's like 25.
Okay. So I went a little too much. Seat the bearings again, maybe. Don't do that too hard.
Yeah.
Still too much, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
All right, so that's about 18, right? Maybe 19.
Oh, like 16, 17.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right, so that's within the spec. So the pinion is in there. It takes 14 inch-pounds of force to turn that thing. Okay. With a new bearing. So that's what we want. All right.
Okay.
Good. So now we got to measure our pinion depth.
All right.
All right. So on the end of a pinion, they give you a measurement. Okay. It's hard to see. It says 2.560. Okay.
Okay.
2.56. So the gear people, it's a match set. So they know that they want it to be 2.56 from the end of the pinion, okay? 2.56 from there to the center line. So from where those markings are on the end of that pinion, from that surface, 2.56 inches plus or minus 2 thousandths. So we have to figure out how to measure that, all right?
The center of our axles.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So from the end of the surface to the center line of the axles, they want it to be 2.56 inches. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what we have to measure, and whatever we're plus or minus, we'll take this pinion out for the last time, add or subtract shims to it to make it reflect what our measurement is here.
Okay.
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 So, of course, there's a special tool to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it.
Oh.
So, I'll show you how we do it.
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right. So I don't have the special tool, but I do have the old carrier.
All right.
All right. And I took the gears out of it just to give myself some room, make it lighter. I'm gonna put it back in with which shim was on the left-hand side, which was that one. Right-hand shim in there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna have to put the caps back on. And mark those caps so I know that's the right one. This is the left one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna tighten them down just a little bit. They don't need to be torqued down for this measurement. We don't have the tool, but we do have the old spider gear shaft, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to take and put that in there. Okay. I am going to grind a slot in that shaft and measure from the pinion, end of the pinion, to the top of the shaft on this.
Okay.
All right. And then I will deduct half of the shaft's thickness from the measurement.
Yeah.
And that will give me my pinion depth.
Yeah.
All right.
Would be right at the center of your axles there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I got to do some grind.
Okay.
Okay. So all right. So that's my slice in it. Okay. Put a slice in my pin.
Okay.
And I made the slice just big enough that my dial indicator will slip through it. Okay.
Okay.
So we will put it in there, run it down, and get our measurement from there, and subtract half of the thickness of that shaft.
Yep.
So we got to measure it. We'll measure it with my micrometer and glasses.
Glasses.
Okay. So it measures 0.795. Okay. Let's write that down. 0.795. Okay.
Okay.
Should have had you write it.
Nah, that's great.
And what is half of 0.795?
3.3975.
Okay. All right. So now we can put the pin in.
Okay.
All right. So my notch is just barely gonna catch one of those. Okay. So, all right, it's 2.995.
2.995.
or actually 2.994.
Okay.
The other problem is making sure this is straight. you know?
Yeah.
We'll take the measurement a few times, okay?
Okay.
And that way, I'm gonna do it with a digital one, so I don't have to even think about it.
So fancy.
2.992, and I said 2.994, and the 2.997, 3. That's not right. All right. Well, I didn't like the way things were going. Where I put my first notch, so I made another notch so it'll hit on the pinion a little bit better because it was hitting it way up high on the tooth. It was hard for me to get it right where I wanted it.
Oh.
So I made another notch a little further down so it'll be easier. So now I got to make sure that my pin is parallel with the end of the pinion. Okay. So it can't be tilted like that. So now I have to make sure that it's parallel and kind of lock it into position somehow. So we'll do that with a straight edge from here to there. We'll measure the pin from there to there, and we'll get the distance the same. All right, and then hopefully we can hold it still somehow while we take that measurement down. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go crazy with some zip ties. Oh, like that. All right, so I'm gonna set it parallel with the pin, okay? Horizontal or vertically, okay. Right? Yeah, you laugh now.
I don't know. We need a zip tie sponsor.
16, see, 8, 16, 17, 18. Every time I touch it just slightly, it moves too much. All right, right there.
Okay.
Don't touch anything.
Nobody move.
.976.
Okay.
2.91. 2.973. We'll just do it a few times and we'll 2.974. 971. All right, so I'm going to go with 2.973, okay?
Okay.
That seems to be the average that we were getting. So let's do the math. We got 2.973 minus half our shaft.
Yeah, 0.3975 is half. So
Okay.
half the shaft then would be 3.975. Calculated. 2.5755.
Okay. And they want 2.56.
So then 0.0155.
Okay.
So then-
0.0155. And it has to come out 15 thousandths. So I have to add 15 thousandths.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to close that distance.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
So if we add a 15,000th shim, we'll have it made. Right?
Okay. Where are we going to get one of those?
I don't know. Now that was impressive.
It is quite a contraption there. Yeah, it's so chummy.
Okay, so the pinion has to come out.
But you just put it in there.
No, no. I know. So the bearings that are in there are new, and I don't want to be hammering on them.
Oh.
Okay, to get this out of there. So I'm gonna have to use a gear puller on this, pull it off with a gear puller, and then the bearing will tap out pretty easily.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I gotta get the bearing. The bearings fit kind of tight on there, so I gotta tap it out. Well, that's really tight. So close. All right. So now we got to pull this bearing off again and add a shim to it.
So when you put it together the first time, you used the shim that was originally on it, right?
Yep. And I don't like how hard that was to get that out, so I'm worried that that bearing might be damaged from doing that, so we'll replace that. I should have just used the original one to begin with because that doesn't affect the pinion depth. So we'll replace that.
Okay.
Alright, so let's go add a shim to this. Alright, shim kit.
Who are you calling a shim kit?
So we'll leave the original one on, and then we gotta find one that's 15,000 for a couple of them if we have to. Let's see what oh my god, first one I picked.
Oh, no way.
15. Okay, so we add that shim to it, and that will push that bearing out towards the other one, 15 thousandths.
Okay.
Shims are good.
Okay.
All right, so there you have it. All right, so we're gonna put this pinion in for what we hope is the last time, okay?
Okay.
We did our measurements. We added a 15 thousandths thick shim underneath that bearing.
Yep.
That should bring our pinion depth out to 2.5605.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And they asked for 2.56 plus or minus 2 10,000ths. So that's within what they would say, even if our measurements were off a little bit. But when you do that, I measure it 20 times.
Yeah.
And double check it, and because we're going to put this in, and if we were wrong and we have a bad contact pattern, once we're all said and done, I'll be taking it back apart again. Okay. So we don't want to do that. So measure 20 times. Okay.
Yes.
And I went and got a new bearing because the other one, it came out awful hard. I didn't like pounding on it the way I did. So I went and got a brand new bearing and raced for it, put that in. So we're going to put it in, hopefully it's final assembly, okay?
Okay.
We'll oil it up again. Get the outer one oiled up. Also, these are Timken bearings, okay? That's what Yukon recommended, and they are good. I'd do whatever they recommend because their stuff is warranted, you know? So make sure I do that. So this time we'll actually use the crush sleeve. New crush sleeve?
New crush sleeve.
Okay. And then I'm going to put some oil on the bearings. So we'll put this in. The new crush sleeve will go first before the bearing.
Yes.
All right. Good. time staying on there. I'm gonna take the old bearing and just tap it on a little bit so it'll hold everything together.
Okay.
Put your new seal on. Washer. I'm going to draw it in first with the old nut. Okay. Then I'm going to pull the old nut off and I'm going to Loctite the new nut. I'm going to clean the threads off that a little. I'm going to put some oil on the washer again. Okay, so this time it's going against the crush sleeve, okay?
Okay.
So it makes it a little harder when it goes in.
And that's where you don't want to go too far and mess up that crush sleeve.
Yep. Okay, so it's starting to get tight.
Okay.
Give it a little tap on both sides. Okay. Alright, so let's see what we got, okay? Yeah. Definitely above 15. Less than 20. Okay?
Okay.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's 14 to 19 is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave it there, okay?
Perfect.
And if we've measured everything correctly, then we won't have to take that pinion back out.
Yay.
Exactly. Alright, so we got to get the ring gear and the carrier in this thing, okay?
Okie dokie.
Let's put the bearings on the carrier first, and then we'll bolt the ring gear onto the carrier.
Okay.
Okay? Does that sound like a plan for you?
Sounds great.
Alright. This Yukon carrier, it takes some different bearings. Got them from Summit.
Summit?
They're Timkins, the ones that they said that they wanted used on this thing. Okay?
Okay.
Let's go press them in.
All right.
Yeah, these don't get any shims underneath them or anything, so.
Yeah, they got those one big shims on the sides.
Yep. If I can not push on the actual bearing, I try to. And see if this one's flush. Yes. Okay. Alright. So.
Okay.
Alright, and it sits down, you know, below that surface. So that's why I used a socket. Make sure I get it down that far. So let's flip it over. Do it again. Alright, so that's it.
Sweet.
That's it for getting the bearings in there.
Seem good?
Yep. Yep. Okay, so now let's get our ring gear on there, okay? This one, it's a what's called a 5-cut ring gear. The toe is shorter, which the inside edge right there is the toe, and then the heel is longer, okay?
Okay.
And they also have 2-cut gears, but those distances would be the same, okay?
Okay.
So 2 different heights on the end of the tooth is a 5-cut gear, okay?
Okay.
And that's all I know about them. Because it does make a difference what you have for backlash. And I'm using new bolts. They already have some blue Loctite on them. They're left-hand thread.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yep. So basically, to tighten them, I'm going to have to turn them, what, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey?
Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty.
Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we got to torque these bolts, all right? And they're left-hand thread or left-hand bolts, so that poses a problem for me because I don't have a torque wrench that goes left.
Oh.
All right, I'm just gonna hold it enough to torque it. I don't need to crank it down in there, okay?
Okay.
So that'll hold her. I'm gonna torque these down to 65, okay?
Okay.
And
65 corns.
65 foot-pounds, not corns.
Oh, I
okay?
see.
If it was corns, it'd be 37 and a quarter.
And 37 and a quarter corns.
Yeah, with today's temperature.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in order to, ooh, I gotta use the right size socket.
Oh.
All right. So I'm using that. It's part of my serpentine belt tool, and I'm basically just changing the direction that the torque wrench is going. Okay.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, so you're using it upside down,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. All right. So you pull it that way. Oh no.
Crank it.
Crank it a little more. All right.
Okay.
Good. 2.
You want marking pen?
So there you have it.
Okay.
All right. If you weren't using new bolts, you would clean them up and blue Loctite them at least.
Yeah.
Okay. 65 foot-pounds. And that's it. We're done.
Right. Yay.
So let's lube up the bearings. Same as the others, whatever you're using for oil. They wanted 80-90 conventional oil. And we're going to add a additive to it.
Yep.
Okay.
Per the instructions.
Yep. Oh, it's so nice out today.
It is.
Alright, so at this point we're going to take and set it up in its spot, alright?
Okay.
And we're going to push it all the way to the right to where the gears are meshed to the pinion.
Okay.
Oh. Alright, so the original shims that were in this, I'm going to put them in. Okay, left side one in the left side. Nope. Alright, so that shim isn't gonna go in there. Now, on this side, with that shim in there, it's up against the pinion already.
Okay.
That isn't gonna work with no backlash.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put the other shim on the left-hand side because it is thinner. I measured it with a mic. Probably won't. Yeah. Oh,
Ah, I caught it.
good job.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the shim that was on the right-hand side, which is the smallest one, the thinnest one, I should say, on that, and the gear, it's in there, but it has no backlash. It's right butt up against the pinion.
You said butt.
I know.
Nah.
Got it in there.
Yeah.
I also have that cap on there, so this thing doesn't come falling out of my foot.
Yep.
All right. So what I gotta do is take this out, and I have a shim kit over here. We're gonna measure this, and then we're gonna make our own shim that is about 10 thousandths thinner.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So for every 10 thousandths, it's supposed to be about 10 thousandths backlash.
Okay.
Okay? Moving it away from the gear. So
Okay.
that's how we'll try that.
All right.
That's what we'll start with, I guess you could say.
Okay.
All right. Be my workout for the day.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now we don't care which shim went to where because we just need the thinnest one, which was the one that was on the right. It measures 0.2, almost 250. Okay.
Okay.
So 1/4 of an inch. And I know that was the thick one. This is the thin one. Okay, the thin one is 0.225 plus 7, so 0.232. So we want to make a shim that is 0.222,
Okay.
right? Let's see what two of these are. So those are almost 0.2. So if we can come up with 22, we'll have,
Are these all the same?
nope, they're all different. Okay. So that's 13. Ooh, 20.
20. Okay.
Okay. So let's roll with that.
Okay.
See what happens. So that would be 0.220.
Okay.
Okay. 10 thousandths short of exactly what we were looking for. Yeah. All right. So here. Still not very much. Okay. Come on. Oh, so I'm going to take one of the shims out of it, the thinnest one for now.
There's 2 of them there.
Oh no. Okay. Alright, so that cap's going to hold everything together for now. There's a little bit of backlash there.
Okay.
Alright, there it goes. Ah.
Get off me. Off me. No. No. Go away.
They really like you.
Oh, goodness.
Don't they? Alright, so I got the thin shim. I'm going to see if I can slip one in there, and I can. Alright, so I slipped another shim in this side, okay?
Okay.
And just to try to get it a little tighter. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna push towards that side so it's up against the bearing race and the shims that are in there.
Okay.
Okay. So tighten it down right there. Go with another shim, try to get another one in it. And there it goes. Ah! Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Mother.
Okay, so I know I'm not going to be able to get another shim in there. That went pretty tight in there, okay?
Okay.
So, if it had the right backlash on it, that also has the right bearing preload on it, because we just can't fit any more washers in there, okay? So, let's see what she's got for backlash. Okay. Oh. What do we got? 8.5?
Yep. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, like right at 8.5.
All right. So we got lucky, okay? Spec on it was 6 to 10. It's right there. The bearing preload on that. The only thing you can do with those is get as many shims in there as you can, okay? And as hard as that last shim was that we pushed in, went in there, I know that I'm not going to be able to get another one in there. So that's all you can do for bearing preload on it. On this one, some are different, but that's how this one's done. So we lucked out, and we have good backlash with the first set of shims that we put in, and we did that by taking 10,000ths out, hoping that it would move it and have about 10,000ths backlash.
Yep.
Right? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and torque my caps down. They're on the right side, okay? Because we marked them.
Yep.
They get torqued down to 65 foot-pounds.
Same as the ring gear.
Yeah, this one's the same.
Okay.
All right, so now we gotta use some paint. Okay? See what our tooth contact looks like, okay?
Okay.
All right, so everything, backlash and the preload, we're happy with both of those. When the camera was off, I checked it about 20 more times.
Yes.
So now everything's torqued down. We're gonna check the contact pattern with some paint.
Okay.
All right? And a bearing kit comes with a little package of paint, and it even comes with a little brush. Okay?
Right. I would have went with blue.
Blue.
Be easier on the eyes.
Oh, I see. So we're gonna do probably about 3 teeth total, okay?
Okay.
And just do front and back. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So that's one spot that we're gonna do it in. We're gonna check it in a few spots.
Okay.
Okay? So, and you're gonna do it by moving the ring gear, not by moving the pinion. Okay?
Okay.
Using the ring gear will give it enough force. Run it over it a couple times. Bring it around and take a look at it. Okay?
Okay.
What do you think of it? I personally think it looks pretty good. Alright, so let's try another spot.
Okay.
Okay. This is where if we didn't do pinion depth, we would have to do this. And then if we didn't like the contact, we would have to pull it out and redo it. think it looks good. Okay. That looks really good too. What you want it to look like.
Yeah, looking at this thing, it's a pretty good pattern. Centered in the tooth, not on the edge.
Yep.
Not to either side.
Yep. You can also find all these pictures online too, but we have these old repair manuals and service manuals, and they're great.
It's fun to go back to oldie times. Made of paper. Okay? Wood from trees.
Alright, but that's a real good example of how centered it is on the teeth. Okay? And it looks good on both sides. I'm happy with that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Alright, so I just compare it to what the books say it's supposed to look like and
Yep.
follow those instructions. Yukon has a great instruction that has those pictures in it also.
Yeah.
It tells you what to do.
Yeah.
Richmond probably does too, I'm sure. I bet you they've got an even more intense one. It's really important for them to, you know,
Yeah.
put out good gears. But if they didn't look good, if that pattern was too far forward or back, the toe or the heel, or if it was to the outside edge or the inside of the teeth, then I would say something was wrong. But by doing our pinion depth the way they said to do it, it's turned out pretty nicely. So
Yeah.
we're going to call it good. Okay.
Sweet.
But like I said, if it didn't look good, we'd have to pull that pinion back out again, try another shim, and do it that way. Okay.
Okay.
It can be a labor-intensive thing.
Yes.
No matter what, it is labor-intensive, but it can be a really labor-intensive thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll clean the paint off later. We'll put that on. Let's put the axle seals in, and we'll push the axle, or we'll put the axle retainers in there.
Oh yeah.
And we'll
Don't
put
forget those.
We'll put the pin back in, put the back on, and tomorrow morning we can fill it with oil.
Yay.
All right, so since we've gone this far, we may as well put some new axle seals in it, okay?
Okay.
And the axle works as a perfect tool to pull the old seal out, okay? Put it in there, catch the lip. Oh. And it'll pull it right out.
Yay.
Okay? Don't want to do that with the bearing. It won't pull the bearing all the way out. Okay? Grab our new seal. Hammer it down flush. Add a little oil to it. Okay, so now we got to take our pin out. It's held in the same as the other one. Listen to that backlash. There's the pin.
Pin.
All right, and because of the limited slip, it's a little harder to get into this one, but so I'm going to slide the axle into it. Is it in?
Okay.
Okay. I'm using the original retainers. Okay. Yeah. There we go. All right. And I did the right side axle seal when you weren't looking.
I didn't even go anywhere. Okay.
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 Put our pin back in it. And the little locking pin. All right, so we're officially done setting up the gears in this axle. Alright, so at this point, Emily is going to do the pan gasket on it,
Yep.
the rear cover for it. She's going to just do it up with Ultra Gray, okay?
Yes.
The whole tube comes with the bearing kit for it, okay?
Yep.
No gasket. They did have a gasket on it, but we don't reuse it. We'll do that in the morning after sitting and curing for a while. We're going to fill it up with 80-90 conventional. It's not synthetic. That's what Yukon wanted. And we're also going to put a bottle of their additive in it also for the limited slip.
Yes.
Okay? And then I sent the computer out for it. Once we finally figured out what we were going to have for rear gears, and we also went with a little different tire size, we'll put a different computer in it. We will drive it and go through a break-in period on the rear differential.
Yes.
Okay? No hot rodding for quite a while with brand new gears.
Yeah, you don't want to
Okay.
blow that up.
Nope. Yeah, and ideally about 500 miles on it, and then if you were good, you would change the differential fluid and get some of that junk out of there that we've just created.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm happy with it.
Yep.
And if you know anybody who does this stuff for a living, give them a giant pat on the back, because it is doable, but it is not an easy job. I would never say that that is easy, okay?
Yeah.
And if I did it all the time, I would probably invest in some special tools.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
All right.
pretty tedious stuff, but it's big, heavy stuff at the same time.
Yep. It'd be a lot easier if the differential was sitting that way on the floor.
Turn the truck upside down.
Jack it up.
There you go.
Just the back. All right, so make sure you stay tuned for the next and final video on this truck. We appreciate you watching. Thanks. All right, so let's get this Pinion in here for hopefully the...
Oh, hang on. Beastie Boys. Uh-oh. Do over.